funny because what's happening is I was going to talk about perfection and everything going perfect. And so, and how that's a dysfunction. And I'm trying to stay calm and be an example of what it is that I'm going to talk about. Hey, Amber, of what it is that I'm going to talk about today. And I'm telling you, I'm over here like freaking out. Like, oh my gosh, where's it at? Where did everybody go? Good morning, good morning, good morning. But I know stuff always happens when there's a purpose and a plan. Like you kind of have to prepare. So what I was going to talk about today, I'm going to have to do it without slides, without anything. So you guys, please share, 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 share. I hope you guys can hear me. So because this is really killing me this morning. Like, but it's gonna be okay. Cause why? Because perfection is this. Because perfection is a disguise of dysfunction that have you thinking everything has to be perfect. Everything has to go the way that you specifically said that it needed to go. Hey, Veronica. Hey, sis. Listen, I need y'all to share. I need y'all to do all that because I'm scared to move anything. I have no idea what happened, but I have so much to talk about. And I'm going to kind of have to go back and forth only because I had my slides all together and ready and stuff. And it's just kind of like, but that's that perfection that we talk about. Okay, so this whole 2 weeks, we're actually going on 3 weeks, guys. We have been discussing mindset matters. So again, Veronica, if you can tag Miss Jeanette, tag Miss Susan, tag Festus for me because yeah, it's all going down today. Nonetheless, we here. We've been talking about mindset, and what happens is when you discuss these kind of things start to happen, right, in your life. Things start acting crazy and things start moving in such a way that it kind of distracts you from your purpose. It distracts you from your plan. That's the whole purpose of this function. That's the whole, but remember we discussed this function as a virus, right? And a virus ultimate assignment, especially in the computer and in life, is to shut down the whole system and the network. So when your mindset isn't right, we always tend to go to the negative. So anybody else probably would have said, oh, the computer not acting right, this, that, and the third. Well, maybe I shouldn't do it today. Maybe that's the sign I shouldn't do it. Maybe I shouldn't go. Maybe I shouldn't do this. And maybe I shouldn't do that because you're self-doubting yourself. How come it just can't be a technical problem? Why does it have to just be something so extra? Because we have put so much energy in other people doing stuff for us that we don't put the same amount of energy in us doing those things for ourselves. So we have to learn how to operate in the midst of life. Remember this, right? We don't live life by situations because the situation is something I found myself in this morning. However, I'm going to take a journey because one thing about me is that whatever I tell you guys, I've studied. So I've studied what I'm going to talk to you guys about today. So whether I have the slides or not, it's all going to come together. It's all going to work together for my good. Why can I say that? Because I understand in the whole thing about planting seeds. I understand about watering seeds, but I understand that I cannot control the increase. Like that's something that I have ultimately understood. You know how you pour into somebody and you want to make sure that they get it and then you don't see it. You don't see the growth. So you assume they're not getting the increase. That's not your position. Your only position is either A, water it or B, plant it. Now, after all of that, I can't make you want to, but all I can do is show you how to. So today we're going to discuss ugly, the cycles of ugly, what it means. We're going to discuss SMART goals when it comes to the cycle of dysfunction, right? And so the SMART goals, I need y'all to write this down for me. Miss Susan, if you on there, let me know. Miss Janet, if you on there, let me know. We're going to discuss the SMART goals today. Right? Y'all know in my mind, I'm like, like I had my slides and everything, but it's all good. When you have SMART goals, most people know that that means your goals have to be specific, measurable, obtainable. Ready? Got it? So specific, measurable, obtainable. You got it. Good morning, Keisha. Realistic and timely. Right? Now, I want you to take that same method. I want you to take that same thing that you use, and I want you to realize that even in that method, it'll help you determine the root of the dysfunction, right? Because the problem that we have a lot of times with that ugly dysfunction, with that ugly unique, with that ugly genuine, with that ugly love, and with that ugly you, is that you don't want to be specific about it. You don't want to attach a name to it because then that makes it almost too real for you. But in order for you to be empowered, you have to be very specific about what it is. How many times have I told you guys, we got to stop pruning hedges because we want it to look good and we got to pull it up from the root. But you can't do that when you're not specific about it. You got to be so specific. You can't just be like for me, again, I grew up in the church, right? So I'm telling y'all, that's how I know a lot of my stuff. I get it from the church. So I would go to the altar because I had a fornicating demon. That's what I was taught. So that's what I did. And I was like, oh God, please forgive me for this fornicating thing. And I can't get this together, blah, 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 and yada, yada, yada. Well, that was just the fruit. That was just me pruning hedges. That ain't have nothing to do with what was that the root of my issue, because I was not specific. See, my issue was rejection. So I had to figure out, I couldn't just go and say, stop me from doing this. You have to be specific as to what it is. But when it's dysfunction, it's not easily identifiable. Why? Because the virus of dysfunction does what? It replicates something. So you assume this to be the norm. So it's hard sometimes to identify the specific trigger. But if you want to be free, you'll do it. If you really, and it takes work. I didn't realize overnight that my issue was rejection. I did not realize overnight that my issue was that, hey, Miss Janet, that my issue was feeling left out, feeling neglected, feeling like nobody wanted me. So I didn't know how to be specific in that manner. So a lot of times people say, oh, she's so angry. She's rude. She's disrespectful. The whole time, the analogy of what's happening is accurate. But that's not the root of the issue. Y'all see my little thing slipping. I tell y'all, I've been having some technical difficulties. Nonetheless, what happens is you're not learning how to be specific. Remember, SMART goals. There's a reason for that. There's a reason you gotta pinpoint that thing. But see, in order for you to do that, good morning, Kevin. In order for you to do that, you have to be willing to self-reflect. That's why people don't like to be specific. That's why you ever have when people get in an argument and stuff like that, and they be like, well, so-and-so said this and yada, yada, yada. No. Let's be specific. What did you say? See, a lot of times people don't want to be specific because they don't want to self-reflect. But in order for you to be empowered, remember, there are 4 pillars of empowerment. You have to acknowledge that thing. You got to accept that thing. You got to embrace that thing, and you got to evolve from it. So in order for me to do this, I have to be specific. I have to be specific, because you're not going to be free if you're not specific. That is not how this works, right? That's not. Now the question is what I'm bearing, is this measurable? And measurable can be anything. It could be how long it is, how much it is. Like, you got to understand where I'm going. This is so amazing, right? Some of you sitting somewhere and the weight of it is about to crush you. But because you've become so numb to it, you don't even realize that it's weighing down on you. You no longer measure the pressure of the dysfunction. But in order for you to do what you need to do, you got to realize that I can't wear this weight anymore. The pounds, it's heavy. It's too much. It's more than I can bear. That makes that thing measurable. I got to remove it. I got to lift it. I got to throw it away, because if I don't, it will take me under. Some of you don't want to, because that means you got to reflect. See, this ain't about nobody else. This is not about what somebody else did to you. This is not about what happened to you in your past. Granted, that has conditioned you. But now we're adults. Now, how do I no longer allow this dysfunction to control my life? Now I understand in self-reflection, I gotta be specific in self-reflection. I can't deflect. Well, why you did that? Well, because I did that because so-and-so did. No, ma'am. No, sir. You have to be specific. How is it that person's able to trigger you? How is it that when that type of person come in your presence, you're either repulsed by it or you gravitate to it? I need you to be specific. Then I need you to measure, like, how much of this stuff am I weighing? What does this look like? How long have I been there? That's the measurable part of it. Because some of y'all think these stuff just happened. Girl, I just got like this. Like, it's been like a year. No, ma'am. That thing been in there. It just didn't manifest. Because that M got two meanings. When you're looking at it in dysfunction, is it measurable? And when did it manifest? You got to be specific. But sometimes you don't realize that, right? You don't realize that. You don't realize that I can't quite grasp what's going on in this dysfunctional mindset. So now you've been specific about it. Because that's what I need y'all to do. Y'all gonna journal this week. How specific are you about your triggers? Name it. There's a reason you have to name it. Because if you don't, it'll just run circles around you. And you'll keep repeating the same cycle over and over again. We've been conditioned to believe the lie. We have been conditioned to believe the lie. So now you realize that this thing is measurable and it has manifested. Okay, it is measurable. I can't carry this any longer. How long have I had this issue? How long have I been dealing with this? How far back does this take me? Is this just me? Is it also my mama and them or my daddy and them? How? This is measurable, right? Now obtainable. Ha. What that means is, because see, in the midst of you being specific and you realize that I can measure this, right? What you're trying to obtain in this Mindset Matters course is freedom. Can I obtain freedom in this? If I'm specific enough about what I'm about to target, and if I measure that thing right, oh, I can get out of this. And it's obtainable to me. My freedom is obtainable to me. See, it don't matter what all this other stuff happened. It is my free. Ask yourself. That's what I want y'all to type. Is my freedom obtainable? Because some of y'all got to ask y'all own self that question. Because you're allowing the stuff in your circumstances to dictate how you going to be free. But once you begin to identify something, what did I tell y'all? When you stop living life as a situation, but live that thing as a journey. Situations are what you find yourself in. Journeys are travel. Those are things that are specific that get you from one place to the next. Most of us live our lives in situations. So we don't know how to obtain our freedom. We don't know how to grab hold to our freedom. Why? Because we just keep living this thing like a situation. Is your freedom obtainable? I say it is. Mine is. I'm free. Remember, tomorrow is Freedom Friday. We all got our freedom papers, baby. We gonna be free tomorrow, okay? But today, I need you to ask yourself these things. Now, this one is a little bit personal because remember, we still self-reflecting. You can self-reflect and be self-aware all at the same time. And most of us operate like that and we don't even know it. So that thing is measurable. No, that thing is specific. Then it's measurable. My freedom is obtainable. Now, am I being realistic? Because sometimes trauma has a way of flipping something on you, right? So trauma has a way that I can't even remember it, but there's this syndrome, like a victim will turn around and start to feel sorry for the person who victimized them. And they start to justify it. And so what happens is the realistic aspect of what you're looking for is you're double-minded in that area. Is my freedom realistic, or is it as bad as I really think it is? Is what my situation is right now, is it as bad as I really think it is? Because that's what you got to ask yourself. See, I told you the SMART goals when you're dealing with dysfunction and mindset, they are twofold. Because the goal of you being smart, which we discussed the wisdom, we discussed you getting all understanding in wisdom and all that get an understanding, you have to ask yourself, is what the freedom of me being free, that is realistic. But am I being realistic about the situation I'm in? Because some of you become so numb to the dysfunction that you don't realize the trauma. So you sit there. Other people looking like, this is not normal. But because you've been conditioned to believe the dysfunction as such, you don't even realize that you're in it because you're numb to it. In self-reflection, that's why people don't like to do it. That's why people don't like to be specific about it. They don't like to be measurable about it. They don't really want to see if they can obtain the freedom. Because now I have to self-reflect that I've been sitting in this chaos so long and it don't feel good at all. It does not feel good. Timely. S-M-A-R-T. Timely. Smart. See, the measurable and the timely go hand in hand because you can measure time. We've been here 3 hours, 2 hours, 1 hour, 45 minutes, couple of seconds. That's measurable. That's the significance. See, timely, there's twofold. Remember, we talking about dysfunction. How long I've been in this and when I'm going to get out, right? There's structure that has to take place in empowerment. That ain't something you can just, because you can't keep going back and forth. Back and forth. I'm going to be free today and I'm not going to be free. Then I'm going to be free tomorrow, then I'm not going to be free. Because you become so numb to the dysfunction that you're not even, there's no real growth. You're reproducing something, but what you're reproducing can't reproduce itself. The situation has to come back together to create it again. Y'all ready? I'm going to tell y'all the example I got. Ooh, I'm so excited. Y'all ready? Okay, so this is the example I got about that. Remember, dysfunction does not want you to replicate, right? So situations keep you in dysfunction, right? So dysfunction is something that has to control everything that you do. So dysfunction ain't going to let you replicate itself. You can't do that because the dysfunction has to control how you do it. Because remember, dysfunction is a virus, and a virus replicates itself so it can take over the whole system and the whole network, right? Because dysfunction is abnormal behaviors. Y'all ready? So this is the example I got. A horse and a jackass, a donkey. So a horse and a donkey in nature were never mate. But dysfunction, humans, that's what we're going to call it today, dysfunction put them together. They created a mule. Y'all ready for this? But a mule can never reproduce. It's obvious it grows, it eats, it does everything else it needs to do, but it will never reproduce itself. The dysfunction has to come back together again and control what is reproduced. Because you were never designed. You were never designed to create dysfunction and havoc in your life. That is not what it was given to you before. But because somebody came together and introduced a dysfunctional behavior to something that was A-okay, it keeps manifesting. But what happens is it starts to get stronger and grow. It's like a virus. Like when you take antibiotics and you don't finish them, your body begins to build up an immunity to them. And so after a while, that little bit of stuff don't work no more. So some of y'all got to realize that in order for me to stop replicating dysfunctional behavior, I have to stop allowing circumstances to put me with something I shouldn't even be with. I can't allow something and somebody else to take control of what I want to put out, of my reproduction. I've allowed somebody else to come in and say, hey, I know you cute. And I know that, you can help people remember, because people make you feel bad about what make you genuine, right? So I don't want this. I don't want to feel bad, but I'd have allowed that situation to tell me, hey, I'm going to take that and I'm going to put it with this. And then we're going to create some stuff. But you can't do it again without my help. See, this morning in my private time and my meditation time, when I talked to the Father, he started talking about if Paul planteth, Apollo watereth, but the Father, God, gives the increase, right? See, the thing is, we allowing other people to come in and water and plant and produce the increase. That's not how this works. The increase is something that's personal. That's me connecting with that inner me. That's me taking control over my life and gaining my rights. That's me. That's when you understand the importance of watering and planting and increase. You are watering yourself right now. Some of you are planting yourself right now, but the increase only takes place in that personal time. That's when you start to realize in this self-reflecting moment that I've become so self-aware that I have to embrace myself in something greater than me. And it is not man. It is not woman. It's that spirit, because we are. Okay, so I'm real, real excited, and I'm trying not to talk too fast, y'all. I'm trying not to talk too fast, but you got to see it. That mule. Remember I said dysfunction don't want you to restore yourself. It's like a prison. So prison ain't really made to rehabilitate anybody. What they do is before they help you, they'll build another prison because they need you. That's how dysfunction is. Dysfunction is sent to shut down the network and the system. But because you were not able to be smart about it, because when you in something, you can't think. You don't know how to be specific. You don't know any of this stuff. So it's just going around in a circle, right? It's going around in a circle. It's going around in a circle. But what I want you to understand is I don't want you to feel bad about this. I don't want you to feel bad about being in this situation. I don't want you to think that this is something that you couldn't do. No, because what you got to understand is that's what makes it ugly. That's what makes it unique. And what is unique? One of a kind. That's what makes it genuine. What is genuine? Authentic. The one of a kind is, in spite of everybody else on your timeline, in your family that dealt with this dysfunction, you are going to be the one of a kind, the one that that breaks that chain, that destroys it. See, when the hurricanes happen and stuff, and trees fall over and everything, what they have to do is they chop it down, they pull it up from the root, and they burn it. You got to chop it, because see what's happening now, the empowerment is happening and it's chopping the tree down. But now you got to pull that thing up from the root and set it on fire. You have to burn it. Because what you got to understand is dysfunction will find a way to replicate itself. But what a virus can never do, what a virus will never, ever, ever do, a virus, unless it's specific, cannot live on a dead host. So the more strength and the more you begin to come control over your life and your rights, you will realize that the dysfunction gets weaker and weaker and weaker. The problem is we keep housing the dysfunction. Every time you entertain the dysfunction, every time you connect with the dysfunction, what starts to happen is you allow that thing to manifest. But when you stop feeding it, when you stop going to that specific thing that keeps igniting it, when you stop pretending in real time that it does not exist, the virus has to die. Remember, okay, y'all, like last week I told y'all that a virus cannot live in a dead host. The only example is like a few of them. It's some type of virus like a fever thing, HIV, some type of gastro, whatever you want to call it. They're very specific. But the only people that really get infested by that means that's a deep thing. The only people that really get infested by it is those that have direct contact with it, right? So now the virus is doing what it can, is getting agitated because you're making it come up. You making it come up. You making every time you gain a little bit more control over your life, it has to come up. It can't sit there. You got to stop allowing dysfunction to replicate the outcome. Remember, you are the only person that can control your reactions and your responses to what happened. But when dysfunction is turmoil, when you are infested with dysfunction, you no longer control you. You don't control how you act. You don't control what you reproduce. And what you're reproducing can't even really reproduce itself. You got to have somebody else come in and say, okay, this is where we're going to sit. Y'all, listen, I need y'all to write this down. Y'all got me like, it's just so much. It's so much. Like, I can't even explain it. I can't explain it. What I feel right now, right? So as we begin to come in, what I need y'all to understand about dysfunction is abnormal behavior. And the problem that we're having with dysfunction, right? Because we finna shift a little bit. We finna shift, right? Is dysfunction is sent to do what? The virus of dysfunction is sent to shut down the network or the system. So what's happening is because we've been conditioned to operate in dysfunction. Let me tell you something, because this is the example that I'm hearing right now, right? You know how black women, because I'm black, so it is going to include everybody, okay? But I got to be very specific for a moment. Black women have always been taught no matter what happened, we got to keep going. We got to keep pressing. It don't matter what it look like. We just got to do what we got to do. Do you understand that that's dysfunction? That's going to wear you down. That's going to make you angry. That's going to make you bitter. And what you're going to do is manifest that thing, and you're going to pass that nonsense down from generation to generation to generation. You are not equipped to bear everything. The weight is no longer measurable. It's weighing you down. That's why you're angry. That's why you're bitter. Because in actuality, the root of it is that you're hurt. The root of it is that you're frustrated. But somebody told you that this is how this is supposed to be. No, you're listening to a dysfunctional person. I'm not saying that you're not a strong individual. We can address that to women, period. Or women got to do whatever it is that they have to do. You're absolutely correct. But when what I do begins to weigh down so heavy on me that I can't focus, I can't bear that. I got to pick that thing up and dismiss it because that's not for me. Hey, Donetta, that's not for me. So now what we doing? How we doing? Where we going? What we doing? How we feeling? Have you realized that in order for you to become empowered, you have to be smart about it? Remember yesterday we learned in all I get an understanding. When you understand the 4 pillars, acknowledge, accept, embrace, and evolve. When you acknowledge that thing, that it's you. Don't be looking at nobody else. When I keep telling y'all, the strength is in the empowerment is you taking control. You know what? It's me. I let you do that. It's me. I accepted that. It's me. I said that. When you acknowledge that it's you, the virus get a little itchy. Because what you have to understand, we keep looking for a vaccine. We keep looking for medication. No, everything you need has already been provided. It's inside of you. You have to acknowledge that it's me, because acknowledging that it's you, it means now you take just a little bit more control. Then when you accept the gift of truth that it is, seeing that give you a lot more, because now the truth manifested. And I didn't like how the truth looked. Okay, it was real ugly. I didn't like realizing that I was the one with the flip mouth. I didn't like realizing that I was the one with the bad attitude. But in that was the gift of the truth, because in that my freedom starts to manifest. Oh, because that means that you can't control me no more. That old situation can't control me no more. None of that can control me no more. But I got to accept the gift of the truth that it is. So now as you start going, now you're going to embrace it. See, self-reflection makes you embrace a thing. And that's the part that really hurt, because that means I got to bring that thing in close. Again, this is all about personal self-empowerment. This is not about you trying to forgive nobody else. The first person you got to forgive is yourself. So you got to embrace it. You know what? I didn't know any better. You know what? I really didn't mean to say it that way. You know what? I just was hurt. When you start to self-reflect and get this close up on that thing, it make you uncomfortable. But what happened is now can't nobody else tell you who you are. Because in self-reflection, you start identifying the blemishes and the beauty. The problem with dysfunction is that it have you thinking perfection is beauty. In actuality, perfection is dysfunction. It's an illusion. There is nothing that is perfect but the Father, for those who believe. The rest of us are just, we're being molded. And in the process of us being molded, that don't feel good, so let me change that a little bit. I don't like that. So, because you got to remember, we've been conditioned to dysfunction. Dysfunctions hinder you from getting to your purpose. So in order for you to get to your purpose, you got to be free from dysfunction. That's how this works. They go hand in hand, right? And then you have to evolve from it. You cannot evolve backwards. You got to go forward. Evolvement is forward movement. So I'm trying to get. Okay, so, because I get so excited sometimes. So what happens is, as you begin to evolve, as you begin to move forward, you are no longer allowing the dysfunction to manifest on your inside. See, nobody knows the dysfunction until it manifests on the outside. Because most of us have become asymptomatic to the dysfunction, that we don't always show symptoms. But we done infected everybody we done came in contact with, and we don't even know it. That's like parents. Parents become asymptomatic to the dysfunction. So they don't realize that they passed it down to their kids until they see it manifest in their kids. And then they'll say stuff like this: I don't even know where they got that from. I don't do that. Yes, you do. But you are asymptomatic to it. So you don't see the signs because you've become numb to it. You didn't realize it that you had got it from your mama and them because they became asymptomatic to it. And then they passed it down. And so they looking at you like, I don't even know where my child got that from. They got it from you. But because you asymptomatic, you don't realize it. And now you looking at your own kids thinking, now where they got that from? They got it from you. But you're asymptomatic because you've become numb to the symptoms. And that's real fact. My dad's blood pressure would get so high that the machine would just say high. But he had become so asymptomatic that he didn't even realize it. He didn't even realize it was up there. He would be functioning and talking, and the doctors would be like, Mr. Bradley, your pressure the number is, you can't even measure the number. What do you feel? Anything? He was like, well, I might have had a headache. Y'all, this thing shifting. I might have had a headache. Bro, you should have had more than a headache. This is stroke level. But because he had become asymptomatic to the dysfunction of his pressure, he didn't even realize that he was in a danger zone. And some of y'all, that's what's happening with your kids. You're looking at your kids. I ain't nothing like that. Yeah, huh? Yes, you was. But what happened is when it manifests, it get worse each generation. So who gonna free? Who we freeing out here? You got to free yourself first. See, that's something about dysfunction too, that have you think you're supposed to sacrifice yourself. No, ma'am, no, sir. I'm going to free me first. And then I'll come get the rest of y'all. How was Harriet Tubman going to free the other slaves if she ain't free herself first? How she going to tell them how to accurately get where they got to be if she ain't been there yet? That's what's wrong with us. We've been taught to operate in dysfunction. Oh, I helped them in spite of, I was going through, but I was able to help them. No, you just produced another dysfunctional person that's going to end up in captivity right beside you because you have yet to free yourself. You got to know it's okay to be selfish. It is okay for you to be selfish. It don't even matter. It's okay. It don't matter what nobody got to say. It don't matter. I'm going to be selfish because if what I'm doing, it's again, this thing is measurable, right? If what I'm doing is causing me heartache, break, pain, and more dysfunction and discomfort, and it's killing me spiritually, emotionally, financially, what else we got? Any time of them leaves, and it's destroying me, I have to be selfish. I have to. As a mom, we have been conditioned to believe that no matter what happened in that family, you got to make sure them kids is straight. And if you marry and you grew up in the church, you got to make sure your husband is straight. Let me tell you the lie about that. If I'm not straight, none of the rest of them going to be straight. My kids going to be dysfunctional. My marriage going to be dysfunctional because I'm not together. That whole happy life, happy wife, happy life, that's a lie. Because if my husband not happy, the household's still dysfunctional. Like we have been so conditioned to believe so many lies. So many lies. If we in this thing together as a team, then we both have to operate as a team. Meaning me and my husband got to be on one accord or my whole house will be in dysfunction. So what you're connected to, there has to be harmony in the purpose. This purpose means functional. Functional means purpose, that you are operating in what you were designed to operate in. Dysfunction, it mimics, it replicates. So what happens is with the dysfunction is that then you decide that it don't fit, but dysfunction make it fit. Remember the horse and the jackass create the mule, but the mule can't reproduce nothing. So now the dysfunction got to come back in and put the horse back with the jackass, and then we're going to create this mule, but the mule can't do nothing. Like, that's dysfunction. You just passing it down, and you waiting for somebody else to come in and give you a vaccine. Ain't no vaccine coming for this, okay? You got to do this work all on your own. That's true empowerment. Again, I'm going to say this definition again. Empowerment is what? Becoming stronger and more confident, gaining control over your life and claiming your rights. Some of you got to go back and claim your rights. That's why tomorrow we claiming our freedom. Tomorrow is Freedom Friday, honey. We gonna be free. We gonna get our freedom papers and everything. Y'all think this is a game? I printed them out. Everybody who didn't print them out, you can go on my website, latishaanderson.org. Go to shop. You're gonna see a girl with like a little break free thing on her. Click that. It's free. Download it and sign your own name, because you waiting on somebody else to proclaim your freedom. Honey, no, that ain't this kind of prison. The person who holding the key to your prison is you. The guard is you. You are the inmate and the guard and the warden, and you the jury that put yourself in there. I'm trying to tell you this, because what is prison is a place where lawbreakers, most of us have been put in prison by the lawbreaker. The violation happened to us, but we've been conditioned to put ourselves in the prison. That's why you hear the term a lot of times, you re-victimize victims. I don't even know why she act like that. That happened years ago. Well, you can't tell me how long I'm supposed to be feeling like this. So you re-victimize me and make me feel like what I went through is of no value. It's not valid and I should be over it. No, you should get a life. You're trying to manifest dysfunction. So what I need y'all to do for me right now in this moment, just write, I am free. And I need y'all to be smart. Remember, SMART goals: specific, measurable, obtainable, real, and timely. And I need you to realize that dysfunction operate in all these. But I need you to understand that A in obtainable is, I need you to realize your freedom is obtainable. Your freedom, it's real. It's realistic. And your freedom is timely. And the time is now. Your freedom is measurable. And your freedom is very specific. We are free from dysfunction. I'm telling y'all, it works either way. It don't even matter how you do it. I am free from dysfunction. That's right. That's right. I can, I will, and it's already done. I get so excited, guys. I get so excited. I can, I will, and it's already done. My freedom is specific. My freedom is measurable. My freedom is obtainable. My freedom is realistic, and my freedom is timely. My freedom is now. Like, you got, listen, what does the word you mean? You means it's the speaker is addressing you. So in self-reflection and self-awareness, you have to be specific and speak to you. So say your own name. Latisha, you are free. That's why the word ugly is so powerful. You got to say, oh, Keisha, you are free. Veronica, you are free. Janet, you are free. Carol, you are free. Trefonia, you are free. You got to say this. Amber, I don't know if you're still on here, but you are free. Miss Susan, you are free. Festus, you are free. Kevin, you are free. You have to be specific. I am free from dysfunction. Because you can't be like, I'm free from whatchamacallit. Because whatchamacallit could be anything. Oh, you know that thing. No, I don't know that thing. Be specific. Your very freedom determines, your very freedom relies on you being specific. Your very freedom relies on you being measurable. Your very freedom relies on you being obtainable. Your very freedom relies on you being realistic. It relies on you being timely. When you understand your freedom, all of that is smart. Because in all you're getting, what are we going to get? Get an understanding. The wisdom of it. Knowledge is power, but knowledge don't mean nothing if you don't utilize it. Why take the tool if you're not going to utilize the tool? Oh, y'all, it feels so good to me. Like, I feel so excited. Like, I really do. Because you got to realize that the freedom is like right here. It's here. When you decide that enough is enough. Now, mind you, that some of us, we walking out of our freedom, but in that, it's scary because we've been locked up for so long. We feel like we left behind, right? When people have been in prison for a little minute, they've been in there so long, decades done went by, right? They ain't never seen the cell phone. They don't know about the new cars, the smart. There are people who have been in prison that long. They ain't seen no kind of freedom, no real freedom. So when they get out, they fear it. right? I don't have this. I don't have that. You know they ain't got no credit. Nothing, right? But let me tell you how I think, because some of us been in that situation so long. Let me tell you about that freedom. So what you're saying is, I ain't got bad credit. I just ain't got nothing. So now I got time to establish myself, right? Regardless of what's been locking me down, it's some stuff I can establish now. Now I have the ability to walk in the authority of who I am because now I'm free. Is it scary? Yes. That's why some people always go back, because you are comfortable in that situation. You are comfortable in the dysfunction because we have been conditioned that it's okay to be dysfunctional. It's not. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Your freedom is now, y'all. This corona, this thing that got us all on lockdown, you know why some people going crazy? Because they don't want to self-reflect. Because when you already in a dysfunctional situation and a dysfunctional environment, and you don't want to sit there. Because now I got to acknowledge that a lot of this stuff is me. If everybody telling you you rude and disrespectful, I promise you, you rude and disrespectful. If everybody that you come in, they're just an angry child. You angry. We gonna work on it, but you angry. You have to acknowledge it. Acknowledge that it's you. Accept that it's you. Embrace that it's you, and evolve from it. Because that's like the whole process. Remember we talked about like the cocoon and the butterfly? And the problem with some of y'all, let me tell y'all this. Yeah. This was the other example I got, right? The butterfly, right? When you research the butterfly and the butterflies in the cocoon, remember dysfunction like to control how you operate. So this is what has happened to some of you. You coming out the cocoon, right? The little process, you don't went through the wind and the rain and everything, but then somebody come and get you before you fully release yourself from the cocoon. They've intervened. Now you can't fly. Every intervention is not a good intervention. It's sent to prevent you from getting to your purpose. Every handout ain't a good handout. Some of y'all want to come out so fast. I've been in this situation too long. I'm ready to get out. No, because you're evolving. Nobody told a caterpillar he was going to know how to fly, but when he came out, he was flying. His view was different. That aerial view looks different than that ground view. That ground view, the impact is it's like a whole lot with that impact. So what I want you guys to do today, because I'm done. Y'all been talking to me all day. Y'all done got me so crunk. But what I need y'all to do for me today is that I need y'all to really take this moment, and I need you to be smart about this dysfunction. I need you to be specific about it. I need you to be measurable with it. I need you to know that you will obtain freedom from it. I need you to be realistic in that moment. And I need you to know that your freedom is timely. Your exodus is timely. Your exodus is timely. It's obtainable, y'all. Freedom is obtainable. Peace is obtainable, y'all. It is so, you can have it. But you can't have it in dysfunction. When you stop allowing circumstances to guide you. When you stop finding yourself in a situation. You ever heard people went to jail? Oh, you went to jail. I was in a little situation. See, you find yourself in that. But when you operate your life like the journey it was designed to be, that gives you the ability to go from one place to the next. Situations keep you locked up. Okay? Situations keep you locked up. Journeys allow you freedom. You can travel from one place to the next. From one place to the next. From one place to the next. It allows you to do that. It's like, oh, I could do it from one place to the next. But situations, they confine you like a prison. They keep you in that state of mind. I like that. I'm going to be smart about my freedom. You gotta be. You gotta be specific about that thing. That thing gotta be measurable. It's gonna be obtainable. It's gonna be realistic, and it's gonna be timely. Some of y'all don't have time to waste. You already losing it. You already feel the pressure. You already feel yourself going down. You already feel consumed. You already feel overwhelmed. And it's just weighing on you, and it's weighing on you, and you're drowning. You can't sit there much longer, or it will take you out. Remember, dysfunction, the virus of dysfunction is sent to do what? Shut down the network and or the system. So in other words, it's trying to shut down everything. You're welcome, Amber. Everything that is attached to you. Dysfunction don't want your family to prosper and have generational wealth. And there's so many ways I can show y'all that, but we're not gonna do it today. We about there. It's almost 7 o'clock. We about there. So what I want to tell y'all is that, in all honesty, I just need y'all to be smart. Okisha said it really good. I want y'all to be smart about your freedom. Don't allow dysfunction to come in and put this with this and reproduce something that can't even reproduce itself without an outside force doing it. I need y'all to not continue to place your seeds in prisons of dysfunction because you're asymptomatic and you don't even realize you're the one that's spreading the virus. Because because your parents didn't know they were spreading the virus. Because their parents didn't know that they were spreading the virus of dysfunction. So until in the morning, and tomorrow gonna be different because it's gonna be Freedom Friday. Y'all see me? I'm sweating. I am soaking wet. I do this. I sweat every time. I sweat all the time. But I want you guys to know I love y'all. I thank y'all for giving me the most valuable thing you possess, and that's your time. But I want you guys to be smart about y'all freedom. Like, even if y'all just go on my page and be like, I'll be smart about my freedom. Like, hashtag smart about my freedom. Like, I like that. But I love y'all. Oh, before I forget, the Mindset Matters course, you can register. It's the boot camp for $99 because, again, these are lives on the boot camp. That's lifetime. You can check that 5 years from now. It's going to be lifetime. You have lifetime access. Watch the videos. Do the journal entries. There's so much stuff you can do, guys, once you understand how to change your mindset in order to change your life. I love you. I'm so excited. I hope you guys go get your freedom paper. All you got to do is literally go to latishaanderson.org, go to the shop. You're going to see a little girl in some light, and I forgot what she said, but click it. It's going to download for you. You're going to have to put your information in. It's going to download for you, and tomorrow we going to all take pictures with our freedom papers. And if by chance you don't want to download, I'm just need you to write your certificate. I am certified in freedom, and put your name on there and sign it. Okay, we all taking freedom to a whole nother level. All right, when you realize it's a mindset, and in order to change your life, you got to change your mindset. This was not you right, Okisha. You right. You're welcome, Miss Janet. I love you guys. I love you guys so much. And until tomorrow, Freedom Friday, I'll see you again. Until then, don't just simply be encouraged, but be empowered so that you can evolve. Love y'all.